Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Oh my God, I'm feeling so fired up and so excited. I'm about to record episode 72 of my podcast. Yesterday, I had an amazing episode with Dr. Casey Smart, killer. And then today is going to be Miss Latanya Anor. And both of these chicks are powerhouses. And as I was dropping off my kids and I have like a little bit of time before I record my episode, I was just really grateful. So grateful for all of the beautiful friends and connections in my life, you guys. And being a transplant, being a single mom, and learning about my human design, right? Like, I'm not from St. Louis, but I've been here. This is my 10th year. So I have literally created my entire life from scratch, right? And being a single mom, creating my village and my tribe and just the incredible like soul sister relationships that I have. It's insane. And after taking a 2-year hiatus from my podcast, I was kind of, went through a divorce. Shit was hard. I was just not, I don't know. It felt like my podcast kind of got away from me, right? Like it got so popular that everybody wanted to be on it. But some of the guests were not really aligned, And after this 2-year break and coming back now and being booked like 3 months in advance with all these amazing guests who are truly my best friends, like sisters that I would like place my life in their hands. Like, I actually trust you. We do birthday parties. We talk and hang out on a regular basis. That's the only way I want to do business, y'all, for real. And learning about my human design 6 years ago, I'm 6 years into my experiment. It takes 7 years to fully decondition. 7 years to really understand what it means to be your type, to fall into the passenger, to use your authority to make your decisions, to eat right, to be in the right environments, to take care of your body, to communicate, to recharge, to change your work schedule, your day to day, your relationships change, right? Like I got divorced, right? A lot of my friends who were on the podcast, like I'm not friends with anymore. You know what I mean? But the ones now, it's like, fuck yes. And whenever you're learning something new or just changing, right? Like you're growing older, maybe you're having children, maybe you're changing careers, or you're just like awakening like so many of us did during Corona, for example. There was a huge wave of like transformation and truth and like clarity brought to the surface during that worldwide scenario, that we need to make space in our lives, just like the human design deconditioning, to change and to evolve and to let it like marinate, to let it seep into your system, to actually have thorough practice in this new way of life. It takes time. And those who are truly dedicated will do the time. So this video in particular is really about the power of your relationships. So if you have a 4 line in your profile of your human design, this is for you. Okay, so your profile is 2 numbers. It's a ratio. So I'm a 4-1. There's numbers 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6. So you have one of each, right? And so I'm a 4-1. That's my ratio. So my ratio is very rare. But anybody that has a 4, whether it's the first number or the second number, you're here for relationships, okay? You're a relationship person. And the 4 line is actually called the opportunist, you guys. the opportunist. And it's crazy because I think a lot of people are turned away from human design or get confused by human design because of the vocabulary, right? So I tend to use both. I use it in more of like a casual, everyday conversation. Just like when I was a teacher, like I talk to the kids how they are, right? But then as we build the relationship, I'm like, okay, so this is like the technical term, okay? And the opportunist, the 4 line, is essentially here to build really solid relationships, friendships, okay? And this means that anyone that we work with or become romantically involved with or just have any kind of long-term partnership with, we have to be friends first. We have to be friends. And so what's funny and what makes me think about my childhood is that I used to get hella upset when my friendships, had tension, right? Like if there was struggle or misalignment issues with my friends, like it really hurt me. Like it was really close to my heart, and this also is like family, right? Like you have a long relationship with your family, but the key to the 4 line is not just kind of obsessing over relationships. It's like pouring into the right ones. And that was one of the hardest lessons for me. As a projector, we in particular are here for the other. All of this self-discovery and shit is cool, but we're really like psychologists. Like we're really observers of human behavior. So we're studying and we're just hella curious about these overarching themes and these patterns among the population. So as a 4 line, I'm watching like what friends reach out to me, what friends hit me up, what friends invite me to things, what friends recognize me, and which ones don't. And in this 7-year process of like having your first reading or having your first aha moment with human design, like for me, it was immediate. And she went in depth. Like we talked for like an hour the first day. And then like, I think a week or 2 later was like my first reading. And then I had like 4 other ones with other teachers. So I was like, this is it, right? But as you evolve, you evolve. Like it's literally your DNA restructures once you start learning how you're supposed to operate correctly. Human design is like a manual. It's like the blueprint for your vehicle, and your vehicle is the body here on Earth, the Maya, that's what they call it. And the 4 line is really all about getting your opportunities and invitations from your friends, from the ones who truly see you. And so for me to think about my childhood and be like, damn, like I really love these people. I really poured into these folks, and I'll have dreams about them sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, but they were never checking for me like that. Like it wasn't reciprocal. They weren't really, not all of them, but a lot of the people that I thought were like my homies, and I think about birthday parties and shit like that, like most of them like were not really there for me, and I was like thoroughly there for them and like thoroughly invested. And as a projector and just a 4 line, like we can feel hella depleted, we can feel hella discouraged, we can feel like, damn, like why don't you care? Like I would do that for you, like why wouldn't you do that for me? But we're not built the same. Like, for example, after my divorce, I started a nonprofit, the Pachamama Shift. And it's been on hold for a little bit, just like my podcast. However, the people that I initially started it with and invited it with, some of them are with me, but guess what? Like, they were all 4 lines. And it was funny because the people that were not interested did not have a 4 in their human design. They did not. So they didn't really see the value. They didn't really care like that, you know? And the Pachamama Shift is essentially a nonprofit that offers free scholarships and childcare for women. And it's a network to improve generational health and wealth with business. You know, I really see business as freedom, but also not neglecting the children. Like that was my story. That was my mother's story. That was both of my grandmother's stories and their parents and their parents. And it's like, what? Like the village is crucial, y'all. The village is crucial. Women have been having children since the beginning of time. How have we not figured out childcare? That doesn't make any sense. So as a 4 line, I'm really fired up because I'm 6 years in. I'm hella committed to sharing my human design. I'm fully committed to my YouTube. I'm no longer playing small. Like the projector throat chakra is open. My root is ready. I feel safe to share. My discernment, third eye is open about which friends and people are worth investing in for real, because investment is not just your money, it's your time and it's your energy. And as a 4 line, you have to remember that. You invest with your heart, you invest with your whole being, you know, like I would give you the world. Like, don't you feel that same way about me? And even relationships, like growing up in Disneyland, they always make it seem like you just meet the one and then it's like honeymoon time and then it's like you're done. But that doesn't work for a 4 line. Like we don't really deal with strangers. And it's funny because there's a saying and it's like a 4 line, it's like, I know somebody who knows somebody. Like I have a friend of a friend. You know what I mean? That's how we operate. And so even with romance, like I don't think I was friends with any of my exes before we became official. Like none of them, literally. That didn't even really cross my mind for real. It didn't. But now as I know my human design, I'm like, oh yeah, like the next bae, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna build that trust. We're probably gonna work together too. And then romance will happen after that. But this like trust and foundation needs to happen. And what's interesting about the 4 line is that we resonate with the ones, which is another foundation. So the one, I'm a 4-1. So I'm like totally aligned in my profile, right? Like some people have conflicting profiles, like a 3-5. That's a challenging life path, if you will. But the 4-1, boom, here we go. So when I say the 4 line, the opportunist, the networker, the friendship people person aligns with the 1, the investigator, this is the one that's hella studious. They want to learn things thoroughly. They're actually the greatest teacher, but they can be very like interested in the details and how things work at a foundational level. Like they want to know things hella well. So we vibe, and it makes me think about the 1 who's hella studious and wants to learn hella shit. Introvert, 1-3 are the like introvert lines. 4, 5, and 6 are the extrovert dealing with other people lines. I'm half and half. I'm half introvert, half extrovert. 4-1, right? But the foundation of the 1 who's hella studious and likes to know things, and we're studying from multiple teachers, for example. That's why I'm self-taught in human design. I read the books. I have raw shit over here. I'm in hella Facebook groups, another 4-line situation. But we want our friendships and relationships to be hella solid, right? Like, and with work too, there's a saying that like work and pleasure needs to be separate, or you shouldn't work with people that you're friends with. And it's like, for me, that's a no, dude. Like I need to trust you thoroughly. So if you have a 4 in your chart, this might be new information, or it might be confirmation of things that you've always felt intuitively, memories that you might have. Like, hey, honestly, like when I really think about my homies, they're the ones that I trust that I really trust. And honestly, if I was gonna work with them, I would want it to be like the homie that I've known for hella long. We've gone through things. We've talked about life. We've talked about family. We've talked about children. And then now we're working together. Okay, cool. I fucking trust you. And so all of my besties, so many of my business partners are four lines, right? And it just makes sense. Like we do our soul sister shit, we do our full moon shit, we do our birthday parties, we do our business, our masterminds, our strategy, our networking, our social media. Like we just do shit together. And as I close out this live, I'll be back for more, and I am going to write a whole blog about the profiles. This one is just really highlighting the four line. Is that, guess what? Here I am, 2025, 6 years into my experiment, and I'm creating hella communities, y'all. And when you think about business and marketing, a four line is people. Like at least 30% of your time should be having meetings, coffee dates, in Facebook groups, in virtual hangouts. And so I just want to share really quickly the ones that I'm coming up with. So me and some homegirls, mothers, are creating a mother group. Okay, I will be disclosing that closer to the spring equinox in March. All right, the tip of the iceberg in Aries season. So a group for mothers, business-minded, creative mothers. Number two, human design, dude. And people have been asking me this for hella long, like essentially a support group for human design enthusiasts and folks that are really about the deconditioning. They're really about the learning and the personal development. And I was in another HD professionals group run by a manifester for like over a year, and her daughter a projector. And it was fire. However, it kind of expired. They're moving on to other shit. And I'm ready, yo. Like those chicks might be in it, they might not be. But I just know that for me, for my business, for my soul, for my cup, for my purpose, I'm the gatherer. I also have the 45 in my chart, which is the gatherer. It's the monarch, part of one of the money lines. It's the gatherer of people, of resources, of opportunities, you know? And then another group that I'm in, that I'm starting with a manifester, one of the ones I talked about, she also has a four line, is a legacy generational health and wealth movement. Okay. And so these are some of the groups that I'm involved with. I also have some here in the ground on St. Louis, some philanthropy folks, some content creators. And I'm just like, I'm in hella different groups, yo. So if you're a four line, just please do that. And like, if you have a one, if you're a 4-1, like research, go to the nerd groups, right? Like so many of my besties I met on Clubhouse and human design rooms. I met on Threads talking about astrology or business, or a friend was like, hey, let me introduce you to my other friend. Okay. And it's like the four just does that, right? And the four, when you think about the projector, one last tip is like, the four feels naturally called to reach out and to connect with people. So even if you're a projector, but you have a four line, your body might move you. And in human design, yes, we have our authority like splenic, sacral, I'm self-projected, you know what I'm saying? But if your body is moving you, that's the other one. Right? That's the other one. So it's like if your body is moving you towards something, or you have the energy to figure it out and it's like easy and like effortless, that's a yes. You know what I'm saying? So this is for the fours. I love you. I'm building communities for us and with us. And yeah, just connect with your other fours. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean we can't be friends with like 2s or 3s or 5s or 6s. We can, but they might not value it as much as other fours. So I really want the fours to just like the conversation is just different when you're with a four. But I love you guys. Chew on that. Let me know how it resonates. Talk soon.